And if the winds don't cease, may we all stand. My soul has been anchored in the Lord. On this last night of the year 2019, as we bid farewell to this decade, this second decade in this millennium. And here we are getting ready to start the third decade. Some of us remember well that night 20 years ago when we said farewell to the 20th century and good morning to the 21st. Everyone was afraid that when they woke up, their television wouldn't work. Tickle me, people bought canned goods. I didn't know how they were going to open it. They only had electric can openers. But look what God did. Here we are. Genesis chapter 12, a familiar passage. Chapter 12, beginning with verse 1. Prayerfully, as my friend said, when you preach from a familiar text, try to unearth some unfamiliar truths. The Lord has said to Abram, go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. Let somebody say, hear the rest of it. And whoever curses you, I will curse. And all peoples on earth will be blessed through you. So Abram went as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. You may go to your seats, and as you take your seat, touch somebody close to you and look them dead in the eye and tell them, get moving. Do you know that's what I want to talk about tonight? Get moving. Get moving. Shakespeare had a great claim, or made a great line in his play Twelfth Night. It's one line that many of us are well acquainted with, we just don't know its origin. He said, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Some people are really born into the lap of luxury and opportunity. They are seemingly born with a silver spoon, almost with the Midas touch. They're given so much, not only at birth, but along the journey of life. One should and can expect much from them because all they have needed, someone has supplied. I remember listening to a man on television talk about how he got started, and he said it in such a nonchalant fashion. He said, when I graduated, my parents gave me about $8 million to get started. I love my parents dearly, but I did ask who were his. Parents gave him $8 million just to start off, Daryl, and one should expect something from someone who's given everything. Some people are born into luxury, wealth, and opportunity, and as a result achieve greatness. Some people do great things, achieve greatness. Persons who, like Steve Jobs, can bring us an iPhone that can revolutionize life, or those who created the internet that have taken away the supreme a kind of sense of confusion when it came to mainframe computers and allow those of us of ordinary status to work on the World Wide Web with our own PC. They just achieved greatness. Men like Charles Drew, who understood, an African-American man doing segregation, who understood blood and helped people with transfusions. Those persons just achieved greatness. Some folk came here smart. Look at the person beside you. Don't say anything because there might be a fight. Just look at them. And just wonder if they came here smart. Help us, God. Somebody already hollered out. It ain't happening here. But there is yet another category, Tricia, another category of persons who are neither born great nor do something major that makes them great, but they find themselves in a moment, in a situation, when they have to rise to the occasion and seize the moment and make a difference. Some persons find themselves on the cusp of a circumstance and realize if they don't step up, no one else will. Bible heroes and Bible sheroes are so well placed in Scripture, and most, if not all, come from this last category. Seldom will you read of great men and women in the Bible who are born great. On rare occasion, you might find somebody who achieves greatness. But when you read the holy book, when you read his story, tell it when we start looking at what he tells us, most of God's great people come from the category of nobodies. I need you to look at somebody and say nobodies. They come from the pages of the past where nobody knew their name. And the only reason we recite their scriptures and memorize their stories and share their reflective conclusions is because of the one who took them from obscurity and thrust them into prominence, who took them from the land of nobodies and carried them to a place where everybody knows their name. In other words, there is a God who takes nobodies and makes them somebodies. God, if that doesn't make you shout, I don't know what will. That's the backdrop, Jermaine, for the story that lays before us this evening about a man named Abram. Oh, we know Abram, son of Terah, from the Ur of the Chaldees. In fact, everybody knows Abraham. He's the father of the faithful. We know the big three, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He is the progenitor of the Jewish people. He is the one who stands and leads God's people. He is the one who looked for a city that had foundation. Regardless of the religion, everybody from Muslim to Jew to Christian can quote and talk about Abraham. But my brothers and sisters, his world renown, his greatness does not come from his DNA. He was not born great, nor was he born into greatness. He is who he is because one day he heard a voice. Help me, somebody. And that voice told him, look at somebody and say, get moving. Oh, let me say it again. Abraham, who we venerate, who we talk about, Abraham and Isaac. Oh my God, Kierkegaard penned a great philosophical truth when he said Abraham went to sacrifice Isaac. Any of y'all remember that? Went to sacrifice Isaac, and he penned a great truth. Sherry, he talked about the teleological suspension of the ethical norm. All of that built around a nobody who became somebody because one day he heard God tell him, get moving. In fact, I think I may have gone over your heads with this because this is a Bible story, and Tricia, we get hung up in Bible stories. I think you need to understand this is his story, God's story. And God's story tries to include each and every one of us. I need you to ask the person beside you, what's your name? Oh God, that's a weak ask. I need to maybe remember that song we used to sing, what's your name? Some of you ex-jitterbugs remember that one. Is it mad? Well, we're not going there tonight. But I need you to lean over and say, what's your name? In case you don't know it, say, what's your name? See, when you read this Bible, take Abraham's name out. Take Abram out and read it with your name. Chapter 12 of the book of Genesis is your chapter. At the end of 2019 and your chapter for what you do in 2020. I need you to slap five with the person beside you and say, I receive that. I receive that. This is my word. And what is it? The Lord said, and you turn to that person and tell them their name. The Lord said to you, help me somebody, go from your country, your people, your father's household to the land I'm going to show you. This is your year to break out of where you are. This is your year to magnify the essence of who you are. This is your year of high-level productivity. Somebody missed that. Oh, God, I'm preaching. See, some of these last days of the year, I get nervous about what God wants me to preach about because I get scared about what it means. But this time, I'm kind of excited about this because God is saying to each and every one of us in this room, it's time to get moving. Your season of sitting around like a bump on a log, like a member of the frozen chosen is over. Your season about talking about what you want and talking about what you want to do and who you want to become and how you're going to make things happen is over. God is not whispering in your ear. God is hollering in your face. Get moving, because 2020 is not going to be like any year you've already experienced. This is your year to break out, God. This is your year. They haven't got it, Angie. This is your year. This is not Walter Thomas talking to you. This is not your mama talking to you. This is not your girlfriend, your husband, your boo or your booette talking to you. This is the Lord God saying to you in the comfort of the land in which you are, surrounded by the people who co-sign what you do, in the face of what you feel is your place. This is God saying it's time for you, not somebody else, to get moving. It's time for you to pack up the conversation and to start a new work on producing something major, magnificent, and marvelous in your life. Preach, Walter Thomas. Somebody's going to get it in a minute. This is your season to get moving. Look at somebody and say, it's time to move, baby. It's time to move. You don't come to church 52 Sundays in 2020 just to sit there like you did at the end of 19. No, this is a new day. This is a brand new day. You didn't expect God to tell you this. You thought you could come to church, just hear a good little song, hear a nice little shouting sermon about how you got over. God said we leave in 2019 at the end of the doorstep of this service. I didn't come to tell you about what you just came through. I came to talk about what you're going to. I didn't come to just cry with you over how life treated you. I was broke, busted, and disgusted. My money was funny. My job was crazy. People didn't treat me right. My health was broke down. All that was what all that was. I have come now to tell you it's time to get moving. You have sat long enough. You have complained long enough. You have worried long enough. It is time to get moving. Find 3 people on that row and tell them it's time to get moving. In fact, I need some people. God has deputized me to preach. I'm going to deputize you to speak. I need you to look at somebody and tell them, I'm speaking to you on behalf of God. It's time to get moving. Y'all didn't say it. Some of y'all scared to talk for God. You better speak for him before he talks to you in another way. Look at somebody and tell them it's time to get moving. It's time to stop complaining. It's time to get moving. God didn't say I came to talk to you about what's up, what's down, what's around. I came with one word, and what is that word? Go from your country, from your people and your father's household to a land I will show you. It's time to drop 2019 once and for all, and to lift your head up for the unexpected, anticipated activity of the God who is giving you a direct pronouncement. It's time to go forward. Grab somebody and tell them, I'm receiving this. It's time to go forward. It's time to go forward. It's time. Abraham is sitting there. Abram is sitting there. It's time to move. God says, I like how he says it, go from your country, your people, your father's household to the land I will show you. Now this is what gets me about this pronouncement. Because how many of you have been sensing God talk to you? Come on, don't lie. Some of y'all lying so hard. God say, all right, you ain't been sensing it, I'm going to stop. And somebody said, no, I don't want him to stop. But how many of you have been sensing God moving in your life? Somebody said, well, how do I know it's God? How do I know it's God? Well, I tell you how you can know it's God. Let me give you some little simple ways to know it's God. One, you know it's God if it's too good to come from you. Andre, that's one of my acid tests. This is too good to be coming from me. I would never bite off something like this. Second way you know it's God, you say to God, God, I'm moving forward, and if they don't want me to go, it's going to take a direct veto from you to stop me. And what I've learned is God won't veto what he's already sanctioned. Somebody better hear that. And third way, if you really want to know if something is of God, you say to God, God, give me a sign that my faith can support. Don't give me a sign that somebody else can hold on to. Give me one I can hold on to. Because all of us are at different levels of life. God, I feel like preaching this thing. You ought to say, God, give me a sign that I can believe. And sometimes God will have the radio talk to you. There are times the television will talk to you. There's times a magazine will talk to you. There are times somebody you don't know from Adam's house cat will sit right beside you and say the very things you were thinking. And when they get up and walk away, all you can do is shake your head, because this is God's confirmation. Do I have anybody in church tonight who's ever had God confirm some things for you? Come on, don't play. You ought to shout over confirmation. You ought to shout that God raises up somebody to confirm things, big things, little things, medium size. Have you ever just looked at somebody and they say, why are you looking at me like that? Because I was thinking the very thing you just said. I was thinking about that this morning, and here you come with it this afternoon. Look at somebody and say, that's God. You sitting up waiting for God to send an angel to sit on the side of your bed and wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning so you can have a heart attack and die, and I preach your funeral. God said, I'm going to send a a way to confirm to you that I am talking to you. Now let me ask it again. How many of you have had God talking some stuff to you of late, and it's been confirmed by signs and wonders? It's been confirmed by other people, and sometimes all you can do is wave your hand and shake your head and thank God that he's still talking to you. I feel a praise getting ready to break out now, because some of you have heard him talk to you. My God, Abram's hearing him, but this is the thing. This is what blew my mind. When we read this passage, Odell, when we read this, immediately we think Abraham hears God talking to him and ups and goes and does what God wants him to do. That may be how the text sounds, but you are violating the psychology of the text. Somebody said, the what? Yeah, the psychology of the text. See, God's Bible is written about real people. And God is telling the man, leave your house, leave your family, leave your countryside, and go to a place. Wait a minute, I'm gonna show you. Now remember, God ain't never shown up in your living room. You've never been watching television, somebody say, hey. When last time you drove your car and looked over and it wasn't mayhem? So a physical manifestation, because we got some people in church from school, a physical manifestation of an anthropomorphic God is highly unlikely, which means you are hearing stuff you cannot connect with a face. And because you cannot connect it with something you can touch, you question whether you really are hearing it or if it's something you ought to pay attention to. Oh, come on, y'all. Don't try to act like you that spiritual, that soon as God says something to you, you jump up, hallelujah, I just heard from God. You got to wrestle with it. In fact, most of us deny God more than we accept him. Why? Because it makes more sense to us to say no than it does to say yes. Why? Because no is built into the fabric of our own situation. Abram hears all of this. Go to a place that I'm going to show you that have foundation. Leave everything you know. Do stuff altogether different in your life than what you've been doing before. Step out into territory you've never stepped out into before. Do stuff that nobody thought you could do. Try something that you've no training for. Go for something that everybody says you can't do. Try for that job. Go head over there and apply for that situation. Put your name in to get that house. Sign that contract. Go for this. I don't know if that's really God. I don't know if I'm really hearing God. And let me help you understand something. God says, I'm giving you a pronouncement that if you follow what I say, this is going to be your season of productivity. You are going to produce more than you have ever produced before in your life. I feel a dance getting ready to come from the people who are at a point where you need to believe God is talking to you. You need to believe there's about to be a major change in your life. Why do you need to believe it? Because you cannot stay where you are any longer. You were not born to be down. You were not birthed to be depressed. You were not on this earth to be a marginal somebody. I need somebody to understand that there is a greatness inside of you that has been struggling to get out of you, and this is the season God is calling it out. God is saying, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't you believe the lies. Don't you believe what folks say can't be done in 2020. Why? Because you have seen miracle on top of miracle. Everything that has happened in your life has been so you could get to this point where you could finally say yes to the amazing thing God God is getting ready to do in your life. But in order for it to be done, you have to get moving. Angie, what do I mean when I say we violate the psychology of the text? See, when you hear me say get moving, some of y'all sitting there saying, he just don't know, he don't understand. Oh, he just don't know what I'm up against and what I'm dealing with and what I'm facing. It ain't as easy as it, oh, wait a minute, y'all said it too weak. It ain't as easy as it, that's right, you know why? You know why it's not as easy as it sounds? Because it's sounding too loud in your head. I thought when I read this text and they said get moving, that the pronouncement was get up and go to the place where I'm showing you. But again, I said that violates the psychology of the text. Pete, what I began to understand, if I took Abram out of the text, I need you to look at the person and say, take Abraham out and put yourself in. Cliff, I'm taking Abram out and I'm moving the text from the Ur of the Chaldees to Baltimore, Maryland. Wait a minute, to Ellicott City, to Balmer County. I'm moving it there, and God says, go to a place I'm going to show you. And it hit me. It hit me. God's not just talking about a physical place. When I talk about the psychology of the text, this is what it means. God said, before you can go anywhere physically, you got to get out of where you are mentally. Wait a minute, Nudge somebody and say, get this. And in order to go where I'm sending you, you've got to leave where you didn't think you'd have to leave. You got to leave your father's house. Oh, you got to leave your country. You got to leave the people around you and go to a place I'm going to send you. In other words, I need you to get out of your head what can't be done before your feet start working on what will be done. In other words, you've got to have a mental cleaning out. Oh, God, I'm preaching this thing the best way I know how. But you can't get moving, or getting moving means, first of all, nudge somebody and tell them, clean out your mind. Clean out those thoughts about what can't be done and why it can't be done and how it can't be done and when it never will be done. Abram will never get to the new place if he stays where he is in his mind. God wanted me to tell you, your productivity is based on how well you scrub your brain. You got to clean it out. You got to get out all the junk that's holding you back. You've got to realize God didn't bring you this far to leave you now. You've seen miracle after miracle, door open after door open. Why would you think God would give you an assignment that he will not give you the power to accomplish and complete? If God is planting a dream in you, he is planting everything necessary to bring that dream to pass. But what's blocking it is what's in your mind. The devil is a liar. He's coming out the mind. He's coming out your brain today. Slap five with somebody and tell them the battleground is in your mind. It's in your mind. You've listened to lies about yourself. You've told yourself lies. I can't do this. You just don't understand. I don't need to understand. You don't need to understand why you haven't done it. You need to understand you will do it. You will accomplish things. You will move into new territory. You've got to tell yourself, yesterday is behind me. Yesterday is a canceled check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. But today is ready cash, baby. And I'm ready for what I have to do right now. I've got to clean my mind first. How many of us have missed stuff because our mind never could claim it. Well, I said this earlier, and I got to be quick. When I was growing up on this day of the year, we used to clean. Anybody remember when you were growing up? You had to wash all the dirty clothes. Can I see the hands? The wash machine would say on January 1st, thank God I made it. Through it all, God brought me all the way. Remember, we'd have to straighten up, have to take your bath, had to be clean. Why? Because everything had to be right going out and into the new year. How many of y'all remember those traditions? Now we get up and we're getting back in the same bed that ain't even made up from this morning. The hamper's still overflowing. In fact, some of the stuff that couldn't get in the hamper said, I'll just stay on the floor. Help us, God. Those were rituals. Those were rituals that we had growing up, like eating dinner at a certain time, family sitting and watch. Those rituals had a way of planting certain behavioral patterns in us. Behavioral patterns that often were manifest in the physical world, but they also had a deeper meaning spiritually and emotionally for us. We learned how to clean, and even to this day, we can remember it, that that's something we did. But when we lost the ritual, we lost the meaning of the ritual. And so now we let stuff clutter. You know why you can't get some things done? Because you let stuff clutter in your mind so that your mind can't see a path. You let dirty stuff hang around in your mind so you can't see a path. But I need you to slap five with somebody and tell them I'm going back to the old time way. I'm cleaning out my mind, and I'm not just using vinegar and water. I need some Hamid. I need some Ajax. I got to clean this baby. It's got to sparkle. I need my brain ready for where God is about to take me. Because I can't, my feet won't move if my mind does not give assent. Don't read this story thinking Abram just jumped up and went. No, because his mind is cluttered. I need you to slap five with the person beside you and say, let's start cleaning now. I got to see my way through. God, I feel like dancing on this. I got to see my way through. I got to see a path for my tomorrow, because I don't believe I was just born to be frustrated. I don't believe I was put on this earth just to stay where I am. The devil is a liar. Do you know in 2019, and for some of y'all, it's been since 2000, the adversary has tried different ways to slow you down. I need you to find somebody and tell them, I know his game now. I know his tricks now. Now, why don't you see if he can hang on when you speed up? Why don't you see if he can keep up with you when you slam the gas? Why don't you see if he can handle you when you start saying, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me? I need to see the impossibles in here. I need to see folk who've seen the impossible. You didn't have the money, but it made a way. You didn't have the job, but he kept it going. You didn't have the health, but he made a way. I need to see some folk declare, this is going to be my year of productivity. The devil is a liar. I'm about to break out like never before. I'm about to reach new heights. And wherever I go, it's higher than where I've been. Wait a minute, I'm almost finished. Abram, see, this is not about, some of y'all think, well, pastor's telling me to move to China. No. Why move to China and be a nothing in China? The move you have to make is in your head. You give God your mind, and God will take care of your life. Slap five with somebody, tell me, I know that's right. You give him your emotions, your heart, and he'll handle your emotions. Y'all didn't get that. You give God your heart, he'll make you laugh when people are trying to make you cry. You give God your heart, he'll keep you in perfect. Oh. You give him your mind, he'll take care of your life. He'll have doors open just when you arrive. He'll make your enemies your footstool. He'll raise up every resource you need to accomplish everything you have to do. See, your mind tells you what can't be done, but when you give your mind to him, he'll show you stuff you never seen before. Jesus said, ask and it shall be given. Seek and you will find. Knock and watch doors start. Oh, I need about 20 people in here who can feel doors getting ready to open for you. I mean, you feel it down in your sanctified soul. You feel it so much you almost want to scream and holler. And if you weren't in church, you jump up and bounce around. I need somebody who feels it in your gut that I'm about to walk into a brand new season of life. God told me, get moving, quit talking, quit complaining, quit thinking, and get moving. I'm done. I just got to say this, because I got to drop this last thing. That's the pronouncement. Go. And then listen to what he says. I mean, it blew my mind. God says, get. Look at the person beside, say, God says, get moving. And when you clean out your mind and get accustomed to the fact that you're about to produce in ways you've never produced and make stuff happen you ain't never seen happen, then understand the promise that's going to come with the pronouncement. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you. Oh God, somebody didn't get that. See, you think blessing is car, house, job, and this, that, and the other. Oh, no. When God says, I will bless you, what God is saying is this. That stuff, that thing about you that is buried under all the crud that you have stored up in your life, that you have not seen in a long time, maybe just glimpses and flickers of, I'm going to reveal it to you and to the world. That's how I'm going to bless you. I'm not going to bless you with just some money and a job and a car. I'm going to bless you with the very aspect of you that you've been waiting to see happen for as long as you've been alive. Whatever it is that you don't even talk about, wait till I get a hold of you. I'm going to let light shine from you. I feel like shouting on that myself. Look at somebody and say, I got my own secrets. I've got stuff I don't talk about. But God says, I'm going to bring it to the forefront. Not your mess, not your mistakes, not your misery, but I'm going to bring out your hidden dreams, and I'm going to bring your aspirations, and I'm going to bring those things you thought about as a little boy and a little girl, and I'm going to throw my arms of protection around you. Why? Because you are more than a follower of Jesus. You are an heir and a joint heir with Jesus. I will bless you in ways that let the light shine from you. You'll be like a city set on a hill. I'll put you up so high that other people will look at you and they'll marvel at what I've done. And people will come to me because of who you've been. God, I feel a dance getting ready to come. Slap five with somebody and tell them my real dreams are about to come true. Y'all didn't say it like you mean it. Look at somebody and tell them my real dreams are about to come true. And I'm about to dance right now. I'm going to give God a pre-praise right now. I need about 20 people who can give God a pre-praise for what he's going to do in your life. Give him a pre-praise for the dreams coming true. Open your mouth and holler. Scream at the top of your lungs. Let it out in here tonight. Let it out in here tonight. I hear God say, I'm going to bless your life. And if you want your children blessed, get moving. You want your family blessed, get moving. You want your job blessed, get moving. Because everybody associated with you is about to come through with you. My God, grab somebody and just tell them, I'm learning how to grab folk. Because when I come through, a gang is coming with me. My children gonna be set free. My family will be set free. My friends will be set free. God is bringing them out. I can feel it. I can see it. I can feel it. I can see it. Grab somebody close to you and say, come on. We gotta trust God. We gotta trust God. We gotta believe God like never before. For they that trust in the Lord shall be like Mount Zion. This is my year. Uh-oh. To find somebody you know. I need you to find somebody you know who will appreciate this. Take them by a hand or both hands and look them in the eye and tell them, I feel this is my season to break out like never before. And everybody attached to me is breaking out with me. Breaking out with me. Breaking out with me. Breaking out with me. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. This is my season of productivity. I shall go forth to a place I've never been, in a season I've never seen. But everything, look at somebody and tell them, I got some folk I pray for. Did you hear what that scripture said? And everybody, wait a minute, y'all didn't hear it. I will make your name great. Here it is. And you will be a blessing. Wait a minute, y'all missed it. Not you will bless somebody with something. You yourself, when you show up, tell you this thing, indoor church, so this is how productive you gonna be. Just the last line. And all people on earth will be blessed through you. Look at somebody and tell them, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but baby, I'm claiming this. I'm claiming this. I'm claiming the biggest purpose I've ever had. I'm claiming the biggest value I've ever felt. I'm claiming the biggest virtue I've ever known. I'm claiming God has gonna use me in ways that blow my mind. Why don't you give God pre-praise now? Before the year comes with its ups and its downs and its mountains, praise God for what shall be yours. I'm done. If you, I just had a thought. If I start tonight on cleaning out my mind, I can get a head start on the new year. I need you to find somebody and tell them, come on, let's drop the trash right now. Let's clean out the trash right now. Come on, come on, come on. If you will only trust me. And Abram is in Haran, living with his father's family, his countrymen. And he hears God say, go to a place I'm going to show you. He can't get there till he gets out of where he is in his head. If I have anybody here who knows what I'm talking about, just wave at me. You can't get some places till you get out of where you are in your own head and your own thinking. We got dead stuff up inside our head. Crippling stuff. Wait a minute. We got stuff that ain't never coming back in style up in our head. 7-inch shirt collars ain't coming back. Make room for what God's getting ready to do. It's time to get moving. No better time than right now to stop. You came to church tonight. If you will only, God said, if you'll only trust me. The end of 2019, if you're not careful, you won't hear God in 2020. Because 2019 still be in your head. Along with 2018, 2017, 1995, 1492, the Mayflower, the Santa, the Maria, and the Pinta. Kunta Kinte be in your head. When I read that passage, I realized you got to deal with God saying, get moving. But if you don't go up here and get out all that stuff, God your heart, he'll handle your emotions. How many of you have had God make anxious moments become calm? How many of you have had God take the fight out your fist? Come on, some of y'all lying and the truth ain't in. You can't fight, but the fight been in your fist. How many of you ever had God make you calm in a situation that you ought to explode? And you wonder, why is it I can't make more things happen? Because you don't understand, when you give God your heart, he handles your emotions. When you give him your mind, he handles your life. He handles how you think through, how you go through. You are not just a follower of Jesus. You are an heir and joint heir with Jesus. Which means God allows you to go into the treasure house of his glory and use whatever you need to become whoever he wants you to be.